remember that wash water that is mixed with chemicals, pollutants, detergents is not allowed to enter into the storm sewer system. And you have to also remember that just because you use potable water and you put down some type of inlet protection, if that water is carrying a pollutant, and a pollutant can be anywhere from dirt, it can be chlorine, it can be just regular water, depending on what is in that water. It cannot enter into the storm sewer system. That is why we say, and it's very, very difficult to filter water to remove all of the chemicals out of that water before it enters into the storm sewer system. If you can do it, go for it, but I doubt very seriously that it really can be done. You have to have a permit, and even those people who have permits sometimes are not in compliance with their discharge. So if those who have permits are not in compliance with their permit at times because of whatever reason, it's very, very difficult for anyone to just have water go into the storm sewer system. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What you're saying is you can do it, it will be legal.
If you can do it, because this, in our allowable non-stormwater discharges, provided that under certain circumstances, it can be legal. But what I'm saying is that, and I'm just trying to assist everyone here. A lot of people read the best management guidelines. They say, oh, I just need to just put out a sign, or I just need to cover up this mat. And they just go ahead, they just cover it up, they say, I'm good to go. And then come to find out, one of us from the enforcement side come and say, well, what are you doing? They say, well, I'm using what they say that I can use, but yet still what they're using is ineffective. And they are discharging some type of pollutant into the storm sewer system.
Can you clarify where your jurisdiction starts on the MS board? Use this property as an example.
Okay. The only thing that or my section is interested in is anything that enters into the MS4. We are the ones that inspect facilities that have permits. We also inspect those facilities that we deem to be high risk.
Those facilities that you're inspecting, they have pre-treatment systems on site.
No, sir. We're getting sanitary confused with stormwater. There are facilities, industrial facilities, that are also required to have stormwater permits. Okay? There are approximately 5,000 some odd companies within the city of Houston, and their permit, which is about to expire in September, and Cynthia Williams will be here from the state, and they are required to have a stormwater permit. And that is one of the allowable non-stormwater discharges. They have to be in strict compliance with their stormwater permit to discharge their stormwater into our storm sewer system. So the state is in charge of issuing permits permit to the city of Houston and to our surrounding areas because we're co-permittees with Harris County Flood Control, and Houston area TxDOT. And in our permit, we're required to inspect those facilities.
Private properties that don't have those permits, what do they do?
It depends on what they're doing. There are allowable non-storm water discharges. If you're talking about yard, lawn, watering, a shopping center, it depends on what they're doing. If it's just strictly rainwater, but then they can let the rainwater go into the storm sewer system. If they are cleaning, they are going to have to protect the inlets.
I still want to clarify, talking about these facilities. It sounds like you're saying, use the world's best filter today, polluted. And then what's going past is rain, it's just water. We're still going to get ticketed if we allow something other than stormwater down the road.
Can you repeat the question?
Is that when there are no, even though there are allowable non-stormwater discharges and you're using filters, the problem is that they did not give us a limitation on the amount of pollutants that can enter into the storm sewer system.
My understanding is nothing is allowed to enter the storm system, whether it's filtered or not.
Correct.
If y'all use the term nothing down the drain, let rain.
Correct. The only thing that we can do, or the only thing that is allowable for my section, are those 23, 22 allowable non-stormwater discharges. And you set those filters up for just in case something leaves your property. I've always said if you have a problem, if you have a concern, if you have some type of question on how you can effectively prohibit a discharge, give me a call. We'll discuss your particular situation because we go on a case-by-case basis because we're using the maximum extent practical on all of these situations. And every situation, every case is different. I've been to cleaning buildings, what do you call those? Washing of buildings, and to see their design as far as how they are effectively prohibiting a discharge. They use those filters and the socks and the masks just in case, as a precautionary, in case something comes out, they can there's still enough time to capture whatever they need to capture.
Understand that, but what I'm saying is that stuff is coming from water, cash flow, and it's good. And so I think that takes pictures and turns in. We're going to get ticketed for allowing something past it.
I do not believe it would work like that because the investigator on site would have to be there. And the investigator or the inspector on site would have to physically view this or get a written statement from that person, and there has to show proof and evidence that there was a discharge being committed. And even to get a ticket or to go to any type of court.
I just need clarification on where your jurisdiction starts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anything that enters into the storm sewer system, because my section deals with the inspection portion of those facilities that have permits to discharge into the storm sewer system. And we also have jurisdiction on preventing illicit discharges.
Do you consider that to be curb and gutter before your storm system starts?
Yeah, well, it can start at curb and gutter. It can start at dredging because we consider the curb and gutter part of the storm sewer system because it conveys the water or the rainwater.
Or would you say that's where it starts?
I would say that that's where it could start, but we are still looking at those properties on site. Okay?
So you're saying that it's potential that there's a case-by-case property situation that needs to be evaluated?
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess wait a minute. Okay. That's when you get the guidelines to look at. If you go to the city website, type in stormwater, and if you have a handout, you should have it in the handout.